Good morning, evening, or night. My name is Aqua and I'm your resident on-again, off-again artist. I'm here because I had watched Pierre Lafleur's recent unboxing video where she showed her new art finds from Choose and Keeping. And for those who are not aware, Choose and Keeping is a stationery brand based in the UK. So yeah, I went on their website and I was just so in love with all their stuff. It was just so cute and I just wanted everything. I wanted to learn how to do ink. I wanted to learn how to do everything. So yeah, I bought some stuff and when it arrived it kind of felt like a second Christmas because it was all neatly packaged and it was so cute. Yeah, so today I'm painting the Sonora House, which is a building in northern Mexico in the Sonora Desert. And I felt like it would be the appropriate thing for the supplies that I had because it's all pastel-y. And yeah, I encourage you guys to paint along with me, paint that building. It will be in the description box below. Or if you want to paint something else, please do that. So yeah, let's get into it. So I love the packaging. Unfortunately, I realized I was not recording, so yeah, we're gonna start here. Here's my new ceramic plate. To be honest, I thought it'd be a bit bigger, but I still love it. This was an impulsive purchase. I thought that it would look great in my features from now forth, and yeah, I decided to buy it. Here's a Japanese watercolor set, and it just looked so pretty, for the lack of a better word. My sister even mentioned that it looked like an eyeshadow palette, and I totally agree. I feel like it looks really good with my nails. So now I think we're opening the cutter. I got this because I kind of love this 90s, or not 90s, but 80s sort of vaporwave-esque aesthetic this was giving. This packaging is really fun to open. This is the red ink. So my reasoning for purchasing this red ink was solely influenced by watching Cup of Jasmine's video. And I don't know exactly what she was using in that video, but I really love the idea of creating line art with red ink. My aquarella paper, my fancy watercolor paper. Here it is. It's in the size large if you're wondering. The rice gold is by far my favorite purchase. How do you pronounce it?
Reisgold.
Rice gold.
Reisgold.
Close enough. Which translates to, in German, rich gold, which is an appropriate description of that color. I love the color, I love the sparkles in it, and I love the potion-like aspect of these classic ink jars. And I can't wait to do calligraphic work on this with black paper. So here are some swatches of the inks and watercolors I used. The camera doesn't really pick it up, but the Japanese water set was pretty sparkly and really caught the light. Alright, y'all, I know the way I'm dunking this children's brush into this ink is sacrilegious, but I was doing these swatches so late that I just didn't care at that point. As I mentioned before, I have the reference photo link in the description. Feel free to visit the site to paint along or learn about this wacky Mexican-Russian architecture that is in a freaking desert. So I bought this paper trimmer on Amazon because I saw other artists on YouTube using it, but it's kind of awkward. If you don't apply pressure to the side where the paper is on the board, the paper will shift and it will end up kind of crooked. Maybe I should have invested in the $50 industrial paper cutters. Maybe I'll do that in the future. This canvas is intentionally small because I have a habit of working on paintings for longer than it needs to be done. This is kind of like a low pressure painting. If it doesn't go well, I could just recreate it if I really wanted to, but I won't. Now it's time to apply my washi tape. I feel like this tape sticks to the paper less than regular masking tape, which is ideal if you don't want to risk your paper ripping when revealing your crisp white border at the end. Even when I was applying this white paint, I could feel that this aquarella paper was far superior than my regular sketchbook paper. I could feel that this paper could handle a lot of pigment, and I could erase pigment without it kind of balling up, which I absolutely hate. So, are y'all ready for this Japanese watercolor? I plan on mapping out the greenery in this painting with the green in this pan. I'm actually kind of surprised about the color. It kind of came out kind of silver with tiny traces of green rather than a simple light green. So I don't think it's gonna work. I am finding that this paint is not ideal if you want to layer different types of paint on top of it, like different types of paint that is not in this pan. But the good thing is it's surprisingly easy to lift off, so if you make a mistake, it's really no worries. So now I'm painting this blue sky with this wet on wet technique. There's kind of some bleeding into the building, so I'm gonna spend some time to kind of rein in that color throughout this painting and avoid it looking muddled and kind of formless. I feel like in watercolor, it kind of does that. It kind of looks, things can look a bit formless if you don't have that kind of initial sketch to kind of ground you. We are now getting into drawing the pink part of this building. At this point is where I'm starting to feel a little bit better about my decision not to sketch initially, because I can create that sort of form or structure by painting over the blue, making sure that things are kind of angular and sharp. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, fun fact. The reason why my water is labeled paint water, I was really focusing on painting one time, and I took this huge swig of water, and I looked down and I saw it was my watercolor, and I just screamed and as a reflex. So now I am labeling my paint water, and especially if it's in some sort of container that I would normally use for drinking water. So, have you guys been? How are you guys adjusting? For me, I've been staying at home, and it's been bringing me closer to the hobbies that I've kind of abandoned in the past. In the beginning, I was really into cooking, and I had this like intense love affair with making bread for almost a month. And then now I'm painting now, and it's been like the first time since 2013 or 2014 when I last took an art class that I'm painting regularly, and I'm really happy about that. And I'm also now, like since last week, reading again. This may mean nothing to you, but I studied political science, and I had to read upwards of 200 pages a week. So not reading at all has kind of been an odd thing. But now I am reading as a hobby, reading things for fun, and also for my career. But yeah, I have consumed each hobby with this craziest sort of intensity where I do nothing else in my free time besides a hobby I'm into at that time. I'm not sure how like healthy it is, maybe I'll get burnt out, but right now I'm really enjoying this era of high productivity and I don't know, just high productivity. I must say, I'm really savoring this almost neon yellow color in the cactus. It may look a bit punchy right now, but it will be toned down by the shadows I will add later. think I mentioned this before, but this ink took forever to dry, so it's not reflected in this video. But I took several breaks to let the ink dry and to avoid putting my hands in this wet ink. Ugh, too dark. This paint is far too dark for a daytime look I'm going for. I kind of realized that as soon as I put my brush to the paper, but I am committing. I'm gonna fix this. I think I'm gonna tone it down by gently pushing the pigment to the top right of this painting. What do you guys think? As if you guys are here with me. I do feel like you guys are here with me, like my videos, like when you guys comment along. But yeah, I want the lighter part to be at the bottom and the darker part to be at the top right, if that makes sense. Kind of like how the sky looks. So I'm just going to kind of erase the bottom part that is far too dark. And then kind of create a gradient. If I could describe this painting in 2 words, it would probably be cotton candy dream. Or 3 words, cotton candy dream. I love sort of candy-like aspect to this. The greenery kind of puts it on earth, but it just looks kind of like a fantasy. In retrospect, I could have used the washi tape to create straighter lines in the windows, but I just did it by eye, and I felt like it turned out fine. Now I am kind of erasing some of the sky because there are parts of the building that I forgot to include. So the parts that I'm kind of taking the pigment out is going to be the white parts of the building. I'm kind of debating whether I want to go in with color pencils when this is all done, but I kind of like this accidental painting style I've created. This painting kind of looks like what this house would look like if you were their neighbor and you were looking out of your window on a rainy day. It's just kind of, I don't know, abstracted, not very detailed, intentional. This was very intentional. I'm joking. This is not what I anticipated the end product looking like, but I kind of like it. Anyway, that's all, folks. I'm grateful that you guys all watched to the end. Please consider subscribing, sharing your thoughts, And until next time, stay painting, stay awesome. Bye bye.